I don't know if I've actually done a video on this particular topic before. If I haven't, I'm kind of surprised because cock blockers, oh yeah, that is something that happens all the time. So what are cock blockers? Very simple. Cock blockers are guys who get in the way of you scoring with a girl, okay? Scoring in the sense of like having a good interaction with a woman that you are sexually interested in. That's a cock blocker, okay? Now there are cock blockers not just in the sexual sense. You know, you're at some, singles bar and you slide up to some cutie and you try to talk to her, some jerk comes in and tries to like interrupt your flow with the girl, right? There's that situation, which is quite obvious, but there are also cock blockers in other things, in business, in all kinds of other aspects of your life, okay? It's not just in sex, but let's talk about in the sexual marketplace, when you're trying to deal with women, what to do with cock blockers. Oh God, these bastards. See, handling a cock blocker is a tricky thing, okay? You can't be too direct because then you come across like a jerk. But then again, you cannot just let them slide because then you don't get what you want. You have to neutralize them in a way that they can't get back at you. And being aggressive and being, frontal is not the way to do it. No, you have to be subtle about it. And the way you do it basically is by mocking them. Yeah, you have to mock them. That's the only way to neutralize a cock blocker. And if you're really smart and really ballsy, the way to do it sometimes is to point out the fact that they are cock blocking you. Oh yeah, that is a way that a cock blocker will not be able to get out from under, okay? And so use it as your secret weapon or your #1 go-to weapon insofar as dealing with a cock blocker, yeah? Call them out for what they're doing. You're at a singles bar, right? And you slide up to Mary Jane. You get talking to her and she's nice, blonde, hot body, the whole thing, right? You get talking to her, right? And this Joe Schmo comes up and starts interrupting your flow and starts talking to you. He's deliberately trying to trip you up. He's not allowing you to smoothly interact with Mary Jane, right? Joe Schmo here starts talking to you in front of Mary Jane and saying, oh, what kind of clothes are you wearing? Are you a clown suit or something like that? I mean, stuff like that will make you less in the eyes of Mary Jane, because that's what cock blockers want to do. They want to pull you down. They don't want to elevate themselves. No. They want to pull you down because they think that, if they pull you down, they will appear in comparison higher than what they actually are. That's what their whole approach is. And so what you want to do is pull them down, or more to the point, you want to kick the legs out from under them. That's what you want to do. And the way to do them is to do that is when, Joe Schmo comes up and starts saying, oh, are you dressed like a clown? Where's the party? Or something like that, something nasty like that might actually make Mary Jane laugh, right? You got to look right back at the guy, at Joe Schmo, and say, why are you cock blocking me? Are you that insecure? Are you that insecure that you need to pull me down in order to elevate yourself? I mean, are you that big of a loser? That's how you play that. Yeah, the way you neutralize a cock blocker is to ask him questions about his cock blocking. Yeah, that's how you do it. See? You don't say, oh, you're a loser. No. You say, why are you doing this? Only losers do this. Am I wrong? And of course, the girl, Mary Jane, she's going to pick up on that. She's going to pick up on the fact that you are not accusing him. You are asking him a question. And whatever Joe Schmo says, right? It's going to be on the defensive. You're going to have him on the back foot. You attack by asking a question. You attack by pointing out the fact that he's cock blocking you and pointing out the fact that only somebody who is insecure cock blocks. Only somebody who's insecure gets in the way of two people having a pleasant conversation. Now you got to have balls to do this, okay? It's not an easy thing because you're going to be nervous because you're in front of Mary Jane. And of course, there's going to be a natural nervousness that you're talking to some girl. And there's going to be this guy who's essentially attacking you on the down low, but attacking you. And you and he both know it, and perhaps the girl knows it too. And so you're going to be a little bit nervous. And you're going to have the temptation, which is very dangerous, of attacking him frontally. of saying, he says to you that you're wearing a clown suit, and you're going to go and like, you're ugly, or you this or that, you're going to say something frontal, some definitive statement, puff up your chest, act like you're going to beat him up, and you're going to lose, see? You're going to look like a guy who's totally insecure. You're going to look like a guy who, he's a wild man who's going to blow up at any moment, right? But if you ask a question that in the question is implied certain negative characteristics of the guy, of Joe Schmo, and you are asking him a question that he has to answer with all these negative implications, then you flipped it around. You see what I'm saying? You're not acting aggressively. You're simply asking a question. Asking a question that has built in the notion that he's insecure, that he's a cockblocker, that he wants to screw up a good interaction that you're having with Mary Jane, that he is the guy who should get lost. Now, why does this matter? You see, women respond to men who are socially adroit, who know how to handle themselves socially, okay? See, a guy who successively deflates and eliminates a cockblocker is automatically, in her eyes, a guy who's socially adept. He's on the ball. He knows how to handle himself with people. And she wants that. It's built into her. Women want a guy not who's super muscular, not somebody who can like rip a phone book in two. No, they're not interested in that. They're interested in a guy who can handle himself with other people. Because women are social creatures. Never forget that. They are social creatures, and therefore they respond to men who are socially adept, who are socially competent, who are socially extremely competent. They like that guy. They want to be with that guy. You handle a cockblocker properly, she'll want to be with you. Simple as 2 + 2 is 4, baby. Now the problem is that, see, you're not going to have much of an opportunity to practice how to handle a cockblocker. And so do a smart thing, okay? Practice it with your friends, with your guy friends. Yeah, you're in college, say, okay? And you're in some fraternity maybe, or you got a couple of friends, or here, there, whatever. And tell them that you want to work on this issue of how to handle a cockblocker. Yeah. I am a great believer in practicing things in order to get better. Because you practice whatever, and you're going to get better naturally. Do me a favor, right? Why don't you do 5 push-ups today, and then do 6 push-ups tomorrow, 7 the day after, and so on. I bet you in a week's time, you're going to be able to do, a good dozen push-ups, no problem. How? How do you get to that point? Because of practice. You practice something enough times and often enough, you're going to get good at it. You practice how to diffuse a cockblocker with friends. And it's easy to find friends because a lot of guys have the same goddamn problem. See, you tell a friend, look, we're going to practice how to handle a cockblocker, and you set aside a few hours, in an afternoon, and maybe you even videotape yourself so you can check it out later. Of course, and you switch sides of he's the cockblocker and you're the guy trying to have a conversation with the girl, and then you're the cockblocker and you're trying to screw up his interaction with some girl. You practice it. Yeah, silly and crazy as that may sound, you're going to get a lot out of it. Yeah, believe me. Everything good in life takes practice, okay? You want to handle a cockblocker. You want to learn how to do it. In my own case, I learned how to handle cockblockers because there was a time in my very early 20s when I was 20, 21, when I was hitting the club scene and the bar scene every night, okay? I mean, that was my thing. And so I came across a lot of cockblockers in my time, and I know how to handle them. It took me a long goddamn time, but I discovered that humor, mocking them, and asking them questions with implicit put-downs was the way to go. Yeah, that's how I can tell you this now, because I know, because experience, because practice. Now, cockblocking in other areas of your life, it happens all the time. Okay? And it's very interesting because a lot of times the cock blocking will happen in situations where the cock blocker will not gain anything. This happens all the time, okay? Because at least you're at some bar, you're talking to Mary Jane, and Joe Schmo here comes over and tries to get in the way and screw your vibe and screw up your interaction, right? well, you know, Joe Schmo supposedly was trying to get with Mary Jane and you're in the way and he's trying to get rid of you, right? I mean, that at least, you know, there's some practical reason for him to be cock-blocking you. But a lot of times in business, a lot of times in your career or whatnot, people are going to be cock-blocking you for no real reason. Yeah, just to screw you up, just because they don't want you to succeed. Yes, it happens all the time. And the reason it happens all the time is because of envy. Simple as that. Because envy, the green-eyed monster, envy is a powerful, powerful emotion. I personally am not an envious man. When somebody else has something, I say, you know, lucky you. Somebody has a Ferrari, I don't own a Ferrari. I say, lucky you, you got a Ferrari. It's beautiful, beautiful car, beautiful this and that, the other. I don't have a Ferrari, but perhaps in my egotism or narcissism, or call it what you will, I think to myself, oh, well, if I wanted a Ferrari, I can get one. So if he has a Ferrari, I don't care. If I want a really hot girlfriend, I can get one. He has a real hot girlfriend, I don't care. So I personally don't have envy. But I'm the minority. It's taken me a long damn time to realize this, okay? Because when I was young, I was foolish enough to think that nobody was envious of me. Perhaps that's your problem. Perhaps you are confident enough and you think that you can achieve whatever you want, so you're not envious of others. Or perhaps you're just a decent guy who just doesn't have an envious bone in his body. You know, good on you. But the fact of the matter is, you have to recognize that other people are exceptionally envious. And they will try to screw you up if they see that you will succeed. Even when your success will not hurt them and your failure will not help them, they will still try to make you fail because of envy. Because that's how people are. And there are so many people whose destiny will not change, not an inch, if you succeed or fail. And they will want to see you fail. And if they have the chance to trip you up, they will do so. Be aware of it. Now, insofar as people who are trying to cock-block you in areas that are not woman-related, okay, in your business, career, whatever, I can't give you any good advice, okay, because it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, okay. It's something that you're going to have to, you know, just gain experience of. Gain experience and figure out how to handle it yourself. But you have to be aware of it. Cock-blocking is not just with women. And the higher up you get in life, the older you get, the better you're doing in your business, your career, the more cock blockers you will come across in your business and career. Yeah, because remember, you know, life, your career is a pyramid. We're all climbing, but as we all climb, it gets smaller and smaller, narrower, right? There can only be one at the top. There can only be one. Yeah, Highlander reference if you don't know. But anyway, there can only be one at the very top. And as you climb, each step that you climb, each level that you get up, you know, it's fewer people. And the fewer people there, you know, when they're at the bottom, you know, they're not trying to screw anybody up. They're just trying to get ahead themselves. But as they get higher up, they start to realize, as you should realize, that a lot of times there's no real difference in quality. Everybody there is very capable. And so the only guy who might rise will think to himself that he has to screw over other guys. That only by screwing over other guys will he succeed, by pushing them off by foul means, not fair. You see? So you got to be aware of what's going on. You got to keep your eyes open. Always be aware of envy, because that's what cock blocking is all about. It's all about envy. Always be aware of envy, know how to handle it. If you're not sure, then take a step away and regroup and think it over. And you're dealing with a cock blocker at a bar, right? You got to be on the ball right then and there. That's why you should practice it. But when it comes to, say, your business, your career, what have you, when you realize that somebody is just trying to cock block you just out of envy, just out of just meanness, right? The smart thing to do is to take a step away, think it over, evaluate it, talk to friends or people who know what's going on, people who care for you, who truly care for you, and who want you to succeed. And a lot of times you'll find that just talking it out with other people will give you good ideas, okay? But understand that cock blocking is not just at the singles bar. It's not just at the club. It's in all of life. There are so many people who want to cock block you just because they don't want you to succeed, or worse, they want to see you fail.